Sen hem de osurup koyun.
Qaysinisini?
Kamerasini biz ham qo'yib o'zimiz.
Masochni yaxshi turibdimi aytgancha?
Har gal bir xilda boshlanyapti ssenariys. Hagas.
Rasmga olaylik.
Raz ovoz cho'tkisi.
Videoga olayotgan paytda hamma o'ldi.
Mashinishtak. Bollos oldin kelam ovoz shunaqa chiqishi kerak edi. Lekin mana bu turshi mikrofon yoqmagan ekan. Bu kerak ovoz ishlab turibdi. Mana soat yechim kerak.
Nega?
Qanaqa kamera yo'q.
Okay. Kutamiz ham toybalarni? Okay. Well, hello everyone. Hope you're doing fine. Well. Hello everyone. Hope you're doing fine. And we are back with our next podcast. I prepared around 15 questions to ask our teacher Bigzot, and we will see how he will respond to those questions. And once again, we are like, those questions are, he doesn't know about those questions, even though he prepared himself, but he didn't take a look at those ones, okay? He didn't have time to actually like think about those questions, and it's going to be like off the cuff answering. So off the cuff means like spontaneous answering. Okay, first question is, so we have 4 questions from personal and social life related topic. Yeah. So the first question, I'm sorry, I forgot to, introduce him. Like, should I introduce you? Like, I don't have to. Okay. Okay, the first question. If you could change one thing about your daily routine, what would it be and why?
Mm-hmm. Hello everyone again. My name is Bigzot. If that's your very first time in this channel, and actual host is me, but now my friend took his turn. And as you could compare to our previous lesson, you have switched your voice as well.
Really?
Yeah. Your intonations.
Really? Like, to what?
Like,
What was
to the really interview itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the question? If I could change one thing in my daily routine, what would that be, right?
Yes.
As a self-employed man, I can manage my time on my own. And even though if I have lessons, I can move them and rotate during the day as I wish. Actually, there is nothing in my routine that I would like to change. If I had the chance, of course, I would sleep less, but I'm not really sure whether if it's on my hands.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing. I think everything is cool. Yeah, everything is fine. Almost perfect routine, because I have already eliminated scrolling the social media as soon as I wake up. So from that moment, routine is fine. Yeah.
That's very unusual thing to hear, because a lot of people in our day and age are struggling with this, doom scrolling. I myself, when I go to YouTube, I just open the Shorts tab and then I just sit hours. Yeah, and I just don't lose track of time when I do that. Okay, that's very good that you have that you don't have that problem. The second question, how do you usually spend your weekends, and what do you enjoy most about them?
Well, I think weekends are the best days of my week, because subconsciously I start thinking of weekends as my day offs, even though I work harder comparing to other days. And the best time spending my weekend is at my office, when I don't really have any pressure, when I don't really have any lessons or extra stuff to do, and I can totally manage my time. I mean, of course I can manage my time in other days of the week as well, but at the weekend that's totally different. And spending my time at the office, thinking about my project, and going home earlier to spend some time with my family as well. Yeah, that.
The next week.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, weekend is one of the good things that we have. I thank God that we have 7 days and 5 days of work, 5 working days and 2 weekends where we can just sit down and relax and ponder. That's a new thing. Ponder about our future sometimes, and if we have some actionable thing to do, we can do those things and then plan the next week and prepare for the next week mentally. That's good. Okay, third question. Can you describe a recent experience that made you feel really accomplished?
That's a good one. That's the good one. Well, about a couple of weeks ago, I've launched for a new project, which is this channel. And I have never had this kind of experience before when I had to prepare posts for everyday posting. And I really worked hard on it, and I have I had that experience of working with ChatGPT. Even though it's a quite common thing for most of the people, I had a couple of struggles with doing that because I had my own thoughts and I couldn't explain them properly. So when it turned that I had to start this channel, I got really familiar with it. Yeah. And starting this channel and working with ChatGPT was quite a good experience. Yeah.
So, in other words, you got familiar with ChatGPT and you get to know him better. You had some ideas you had some notion on your mind on how ChatGPT works, but then when you actually started working it was different.
Yeah, how to make proper prompts so that would work better.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, by the way. You were the first guy who taught me that.
Yeah. Thank me. You're welcome. Okay, fourth question. By the way, ChatGPT. I've been using ChatGPT for our subscribers. I've been using ChatGPT since it came out, since it was in beta stages.
That's
and
2020, right? Or 2021?
2020. No, that's 2023. Like in the early days of 2023. Yeah, like the first couple of months, I think.
When we had meeting with my mentor, it was at the end of 2022, if I'm not mistaken. It was in December. He told me that there is a new thing called ChatGPT, and he can answer all your questions, all your response, and etc. And he has Googled what's the economy. He had search of asking what's the economy of Uzbekistan, what's the population, what's the average income, and etc. And it answered properly, and we were super like, wow, how it works, and etc. and etc. But even after that, even when it first came out publicly in the March of 2023, I didn't have enough look on that because I don't know. I was kind of old school guy who used old methods and etc.
Like I was myself dubious at first, like about this AI stuff, but then I saw the power of AI, and it was actually very helpful for my job, and I've been using it ever since. And it's one of the integral parts of my job. Yeah. Like actually one thing we could, in the upcoming episodes of our podcast, we could talk about AI. It won't be like, interview style, but we're gonna say like something AI related. Or we can invite our friends Java, Naji. Yeah, we could. Yeah. That's gonna be like a group discussion.
Yeah. Groups of IT guys.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So our coffee's arrived. Okay. Like a little time break. Okay, so the fourth question is, if a friend were visiting your city, so you have a friend and he's visiting your city, and what unique places would you take them to see? So what unique places in Tashkent that you know?
Well, to be honest, I'm not really familiar with all the places people visit in Tashkent, even though I'm myself from Tashkent. I don't know. I don't really like visiting new places, being around with this all this stuff. And I think one of my second mentors, the guy who has visited more than 100 countries, 100 countries, guys. 100 more. Talk. He officially had a certification from World Traveling Association saying that he is the first Uzbek to visiting more than 100 countries.
Is there a thing like that?
Could you imagine? I was surprised myself as well. Yeah.
Certificate.
Yes, like certificate. And about couple of years ago, when I didn't know which path should I follow and whether should I do my teaching, start YouTube, and etc., he was advising me different stuff. And one of his advice was to travel a lot, to visit minimum 2 countries as a beginner, to start visiting 2 new countries every year. And he has mentioned that the best experience humankind can have in other country to learn other culture as well is being with the people who are born there, with their locals. And of course, sightseeings are cool, but they won't give you the whole idea of the culture itself. So from that advice, I can say that if someone from other country would visit us, I would probably show them around. I mean, like literally places people live in, and the place I was born in, and how my childhood went out. So he would feel the whole culture of Uzbekism, if I could say that.
What was that? What was that?
Uzbekism.
That's a new word for me, Uzbekism. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, when someone new comes to our city, it's best. Like, I agree with you. You get to experience the culture with if you live with those people who lived with that culture. Yeah, long sentence, but I hope you got it. Okay, so that was our first question related to personal and social life, and we go to the next topic: work and education. So the first question in work and education: what do you find most challenging about your work or studies, and how do you overcome it? Should I repeat? What do you find most challenging about your work or studies, and how do you overcome it?
That's a tough question when you have nothing to answer. The story of your life. Well, I think the most challenging part of my work and education at the same time is that everything depends on me and me only. Because as I've mentioned before, I'm self-employed, and when you're self-employed, you have to manage your own life, your own time. And that's quite difficult with all these distractions around you. Like your friends who are sitting with you at the same office, and usually
Keep going.
plus all the social media stuff, answering the comments, because it's really tough to concentrate, to focus on one thing. And the same thing with my education as well, because I have a lot of courses I bought on Udemy, which I haven't even seen. Could you imagine? Yeah. I'm buying a course and I'm even not opening.
There's actually a curse, not a course, but curse. Nima? O'zbekchada nima bo'ladi? Yo'q, curse.
Course.
Lanat. Yeah. There's actually a curse. You buy a Udemy course, but you're cursed because you won't be watched. They're cursed. Yeah, I also bought like I think I have like 30 or 40 courses that I bought in Udemy. When I was in Turkey, the courses right now when you go to Udemy, it's like the cheapest one is actually for Uzbekistan. It's $10, right? In the maximum discount. But in Turkey, it was like $1 or $2. Yeah, because
so that depends on
because the guy who created Udemy actually a Turkish guy. Yeah, and like I bought like lots of courses, but I don't even know if I finished like a single one of them. Yeah, maybe a couple, but I should say that it is a curse.
Well, I think this is one of the problems of human being, managing our own selves, because as people usually say, as all that speakers usually say, discipline is the key. So when you can't stick in one thing, when you don't have commitment, that's quite hard. Yeah.
Ozdan bardavom bo'lish kerakda o'shaning uchun. Okay. Shu kameraga sal qarab o'tiring, siz mayaga qarab oryapsiz, Poppy. Hop. The second question. Can you share a situation where you had to solve a problem creatively without using ChatGPT, I guess?
A problem. Well, we're back. بلستو ketmas nega? Hamma ko'rsin, siz ham yo'talasiz. Okay. Problem. I don't know. I've never paid attention to these kind of things. I don't usually report myself like, wow, I did a great job on solving these problems. So because that's a basic thing, I think, for a man. And because our life is I don't know, it consists of solving the problems.
Yeah.
So
Every day you face problems.
yeah,
you have
yeah,
to
yeah.
solve them
yeah,
one by one. That's how we deal with the day.
yeah.
Right?
And there is no proper answer for this question.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
Maybe one of the problems is that, let's say you are just calling your students, like calling newcomers, like they want to get your course, but then they're just dubious and they don't know what to do, like if they should get the course, and then let's say you want to buy the course, buy the course. I just lost the meaning. Yeah. So you want them to study your courses, and like how would you approach that one? Yeah, that's a problem, right? Like, it's me here sitting. I don't know how your courses look like. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get a valuable thing from there, and that's a problem for you, right? And maybe there are some tactics that you use to change my mind. Like, was there some creative thing that you did? Like maybe you called them and did something, said something motivational. That's also like a creative solution, I would say.
Well, to be honest, I'm not that sort of guy who would pursue someone to buy his courses, because in these cases, of course, we had this kind of cases in our during our job, and usually we ourselves reject this kind of students if they have doubts about our professionalism, if they have doubts whether if they should study English or not. I usually say them to give up, because if you're not sure, why should you start? I'm not a guy who would always motivate you to study more, to do more, because you're doing it for yourself, and me doing it for myself. And if you don't care, why should I? If you're a teenager who has doubts, of course, we would have some serious talk with you. Of course, if you're a teenager, you don't know what to do. It's fine, because I have also went through this. But if you're an adult and you have some doubts, I'm sorry, give up. That's not yours.
Yeah. Good answer. Okay. Problem creatively. Okay. We're on to the third question. If you could learn any new skill in a month, what would it be and why? So new skill.
I think that would probably be marketing, because marketing is the key of every business, and etc. and etc. And in our previous talks, I have asked you the same question. That was a similar question. If you could learn something quickly or in a day or something like this.
I answered like learning. I answered like learning how to learn. Yeah, that would be a good skill.
And in that episode, I have mentioned that everything we're learning is for our living. And I thought that it would be the best skill to learn would be how to earn money, because everything we do is for our living, basically speaking, right? And marketing is the key of the marketing, selling is the key of any business, and I'm really terrible at it, because in my point of view, if you're good enough, people would want you. I mean, I'm telling you it as a teacher. So I'm not really good at selling myself. So I would probably learn how to sell. Do it.
Just dirty thoughts. Okay. Fourth question: How do you usually prepare for important tasks or events? Is there some important tasks and events that you do on a daily basis, or once a week, or once a month?
What do you mean by important?
Important events, maybe like once a week.
For example, we have monthly masterclasses when I share, when we discuss about specific topic, and and I usually take a look on the proper topic. I have never had that before, but one of my friends has advised me to prepare, so that would basically save couple of hours for my students, because prepare for a specific topic I'm willing to show at the master class, because I usually try to share my own experience, and when you're not prepared enough, you usually go around about a couple of things, and preparing is the best thing I could do in this case, because preparing saves tons of time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What was the question again?
Yeah. What is the important event or task?
That's the master class. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Master classes in our academy.
How do you usually prepare for important tasks or events? And then you said it. Like you just sit down and prepare like what you're going to say.
I usually try to review everything I have to go through. Maybe I can Google for this topic and get something new for myself. And adding everything I learned and my own experience, that usually creates something from my own.
Coolio. Okay, we finished the work and education topics, and the next topic is opinion and preferences. Wow, that's interesting. So we have 6 questions, and the first one is: what is your favorite type of entertainment, and why does it appeal to you? Type of entertainment. What is your favorite type of entertainment, and why does it appeal to you?
I don't really feel proud of talking about this, but I'm really into online games, because when I was a teenager, I had a really terrible time in my life as a teenager, and in order to get rid of the stress, I deep down into the gaming, so that became a part of me, and it is still today. And usually when I have to when I need some rest, when I have to relax, I spent, I don't know, maybe 40 to 60 minutes of my time to do this. Yeah. But as I'm
Each day?
not really, because as I'm getting older, I'm getting rid from all this stuff, and of course my gaming skills are becoming normal, because they were at their super high level when I used to play a lot. Because could you imagine guy spending 16 hours of his day playing these stupid games? And that was me when I was 14 to 19, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I regret, of course, but still, this is the only thing I can do now.
But still, that's kind of thing that shaped you who you are right now. And it made you realize some of the things in life, right? Some life lessons.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a thing.
Okay. Okay. Next question.
I was thinking about my character of mine, which is competitive. I was thinking whether if these kind of games have shaped that in me, but no, that's part of my character.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of games.
So you mean you're competitive?
Yeah, because since I had this character, I was quite good at those games. not because those games have gained that on me.
So you're saying those games, those competitive games, didn't make you competitive, but you were competitive in the beginning. Okay. Before you start playing games. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Second question. If you had to recommend a book or a movie to someone, what would it be and why? Book or a movie?
Mm-hmm. The very first book which has affected on me was called Витамины для ума. I don't know the translation in English because it could be the adapted ones, but the author was called Jim Rohn, and I didn't really knew about this guy. And after the internet came out, I have Googled that, and it turned out that he was one of the best speakers in USA, and this book had really impacted on me because there was a phrase saying that when you're motivated in doing something, do it while you're motivated, because as soon as you start with your motivation, there is a high chance that you will continue doing this. And I have experienced that on myself because I was quite motivated when I first started my YouTube channel, and from that motivation, as soon as I start acting, من endi bilsam men bu ham tomon qarasam Abdulla men sal qiyin sal bilan tomon tushiring qaysi men tushyaptim men o'zim qorong'i ko'raman
chunki siz men bu yoqqa qaramayapsiz-da bu siz men bu yoqqa qarayapsiz bilyapsizmi
bilmayman e'tibor ber qiyin ekan intervyu berish
sal men bilan bundoq qiling
qayerda to'xtadim.
So you were saying that you read the book.
Yeah. And when I started my YouTube channel, I was quite enthusiastic on that. And from every single video which I have made, I got lots of comments, lots of positive feedbacks, and it forced me to do more. Yeah, so that's why I think that book really paid off. So I would recommend this book. And for the film, I don't know, maybe social media, about the story of Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, I don't know. I do really like this film, how it filmed, the way it was filmed, the actors, everything. And when I first time have seen it, it forced me to start being familiar with all the IT stuff. Yeah, and yeah. This one book and this one,
like the book is like both the book and the movie is kind of motivational, right? Like it gives you some kind of push.
Well, I think you have to get something at least as a food for your thoughts, and yeah.
Good. I didn't read the book, but I saw these what was it? Social media. Is it social media? Yeah. Social media?
Social network?
Social network, yeah.
that was a social network.
Yeah, because social media was like, I got what you're saying. I remember the movie, but social media was kind of off, you know, social network. Okay. Yeah, when I saw that movie, it was very inspiring as well. Me, like as a software developer, it was like it touched me a lot in a way that other movies can't. And I remember it was one of the pushes that I needed to build one of my projects. Yeah, it's
Back to Turkey?
Yeah, it was in Turkey. Yeah, it was in Turkey. When I was in Turkey, I like built like small projects. You know, I was just putting those one project, putting aside or putting off, like put off more or less. So I watched that movie, and then it kind of like gave me the last push that I needed, and then I worked on that project. Yeah. Okay, good. So we have two things, one book and a movie, and that was great. So the third question is, do you think technology has made our lives easier or more complicated? Wow. And why?
I think it really depends on the person because
No,
as an adult,
let's say what like let's first define what technologies that we use every day, right? And let's answer this question from those points. Yeah.
as in technology things, I can mention every app we're using on our phones. For example, Yandex, we use PayMe, all that paying systems and etc. And for us, for adults, for our bit older generation, it's fine. But for those people, for our grands, all this stuff is unfamiliar, I think. Of course, year after year, they are getting familiar with all this stuff, but at the beginning, it was really tough for them. That turning point, that changing point. And of course, in some cases, they are making our lives easier. But there are cons as well. For example, all these online meetings, I think, has affected the way we communicate with people. Yeah, I do really think so. It's not it's not an answer from the internet or something. I do really think so. And because I have paid attention that all this scrolling thing is affected our brain the way we can't concentrate on one thing. And when I'm having conversation with someone, I subconsciously get distracted with my phone.
Like
So yeah. And a guy called Simon Sinek, who is one of my favorite authors, have mentioned that during the conversation you have to put your phone off, and not even siding down your phone screen. No, you have to put it off, because as soon as you took your phone, the guy who you're talking to is not on your priority anymore. And that was life changing. That was life changing. And of course, I try to stick to this rule, let's say, to this advice. But still, in these cases, in these kind of detailed and the subconscious moments, technology affected not in a really good way. I can't say it's bad, because it's on us, not on technology, of course. That it's our problem that we can't manage our lives and our behavior. That's it.
Yeah, like if you're sitting at a table, be at that table. Yeah. Cool. Okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 questions left. The fourth question: hypothetical and future oriented. Hypothetical and future oriented. If you could travel back in time. Oh, that's actually like a topic. Like there was a mistake in the formatting. So hypothetical and future oriented questions. If you could travel back in time, which era would you visit and what would you do there?
I think I would probably back in time. You said, right?
Back in time.
I would probably visit my teenagehood period, because it's the time when
No, era.
era.
Not a couple of years, but
I don't want to. I have thought a lot about this, and I had some thoughts like going back when there was no electricity and inventing it as a first guy who was invented it. And I thought to myself, idiot, you don't even know the physics. You don't know you don't really familiar with it. How can you invent all these things? Yeah. And I didn't really like those kind of thoughts, because one of the very first things which usually comes to my mind is the dirty roads.
Dirty roads?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I mean, there was no asphalt.
Yes.
And my personality is all this stuff. I'm not really sure whether if I could survive those times.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The other day I was actually, we went to have dinner with him, and then he was very picky. Like he was paying attention to his spoons, like if they're washed properly, if they're cleaned properly, and it was like, he was meticulously.
I can't help myself.
Like he was meticulously like looking at those the gaps between the fork and
that means properly
and
detailed
thoroughly. He was meticulously, just like observing the spaces between the fork, and like trying to see if there's some leftovers in there. And I was like, and at that time, I thought like, I don't know what would happen if that guy lived a couple of centuries ago. He wouldn't survive. Okay, next question. What do you think will be the biggest change in the world in the next 10 years? Oh, like before that one, I had a follow-up question to the previous one. Maybe there are some famous people that you wanted to meet that lived and died a long time ago. Famous people.
Since all of these are theoretical, I don't really think about this stuff. I can't take them seriously. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Practical guy.
Near future, you said?
Okay, yeah. What do you think will be the biggest change in the world in the next 10 years?
I don't I don't know. With all these wars around us, like Israeli, Palestinian stuff, Ukraine and Russia, and etc., I don't really know what to expect. And as a teen, I thought that that's the end of all the wars. And after the Second World War, people acknowledged that there should be no war in this world and everything could be handled in democratic way. That's what I thought. Right now, I'm changing my opinion. Plus, all this ChatGPT stuff, all the, I don't know how they're called, glasses of reality. AR, VR glasses. I don't know what to expect. And we're living in VUCA world. VUCA world means the world which is transferring really fast. It's the business term. I don't know the explanation of VUCA, but it's called VUCA world. Everything is changing rapidly, and that which means we also have to change ourselves as well. We have to learn, adapt, yeah, and we have to learn all this ChatGPT stuff and etc. And I don't know what to expect, because in VUCA world you don't know what to expect. You can't imagine what to expect, because even a year ago, before ChatGPT came out, no one even had any thought about this kind of stuff, right? What about COVID? No one had an idea. So totally no idea.
Maybe there is one thing that like we grew up watching fantastic sci-fi movies. Sci-fi movies, right? Ruschada ketib qolgan ekan, fantastika. So sci-fi movies. Maybe there is maybe there is one technology that you really would like to see, like in real life. Like maybe, like I would say teleportation. Even though it's like they say it's technically impossible, but I would really want to see the teleportation.
About this stuff, that's why I don't really think about it. I'm quite realistic. Teleportation, like, come on.
Okay, but teleportation, but like that's for me.
If there was a chance to do teleportation stuff, teleportation remote or anything else, Rick would have already done that.
Who?
Rick from Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty teleportatsiya bor-ku.
Real life ham qilgan bo'lardi.
Rick and Mortyda time travel yo'q. Anaqa bor, teleportation bor. Okay, so
7 minutes left.
Huh?
So we have 7 minutes.
7 minutes. Okay, we're gonna be fast. So it's gonna be last question. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be, and how would your life change? If you could live anywhere in the world, and if you could live there forever, I think. No, yeah, where would it be? Just that's it.
To be honest, I have thought about this a couple of months ago, because I did really have chance to move, and I couldn't find any better place than Uzbekistan. Could you imagine? No. I'm not really patriotical about all this stuff. There are several reasons. I hate the economy here. I hate how government works here, and etc. because I'm pretty sure they're not doing and they're not doing their work properly, and they themselves also know that they're not doing their stuff properly. But still, here I have you, I have my family, I have my friends, I have all that nostalgic stuff, and etc. And as a Muslim guy, I would say that would be better for my spiritual health to live in Medina. And but sticking in one place is not a perfect option. You have to travel a lot. And if there is a chance to spend most of my time in Medina and to be able to travel, I would probably live there, travel a lot, and come back here in spring and autumn when it's the best time to visit, and move back. I think that would be the proper option.
Cool. We're gonna cut that couple of sentences. I don't want to. I don't want to see that floating on the internet. Okay, yeah. So thanks for those answers, and I really actually got to know you better. I didn't know that you thought that you had those ideas, and I found that you are kind of practical guy who doesn't think about this sci-fi stuff. Yeah, but that's interesting. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope we'll be back next week with more people to...
With our new guests.
Yeah, with new guests. Maybe a couple of guys. We have a couple of friends whose English are also very good, and they've been practicing and honing their English skills for a very long time. And yeah, I hope you will find something valuable from our talk.
You guys make a list of questions which we would ask our friends. Any questions?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, I'm going to end it here. Okay, thank you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yaxshi bo'ldi.
Zo'r bo'ldi. Bo'ldi, men kontrolni вообще ани bo'lib ketdim.
Narsani qo'shaman, qarab turing, narsani qo'shaman. O'chirib